I've noticed that the number of criminal cases being processed and judged has been increasing. It seems like the scope of criminal charges is expanding. Cases that should be treated as economic disputes, like fraud, are now being handled as criminal offenses. Even situations that could have been resolved with administrative penalties are ending up with criminal detention. It's odd that some people, after going through administrative punishment and thinking it's over, end up getting arrested later. This was mentioned in a video on August 4th by a lawyer from Shanghai. In short, in China, you're arrested under criminal charges whether you've committed a major or minor offense. Your guilt is no longer determined by law, but rather by whatever charges the police or government decide to pin on you. Under the Chinese Communist Party's or CCP's authoritarian rule, the law in China has gradually become just for show. The police, acting as the CCP's enforcers, are very vocal about the conclusion that the law in China is ineffective. This is why so many police officers, when oppressed by the CCP regime, turn to media channels to seek justice. A prime example is Chen Ziwei, a police officer from Tangshan, who recently made a public report on social media. His report has once again brought the shocking events of the 2022 Tangshan restaurant attack into the spotlight. The incident that sparked this renewed attention occurred on August 5th, when Chen Ziwei, a police officer involved in the incident, suddenly made a public report online, revealing his identity and showing his ID and police badge in the video.
The officers handling the case in Taofeidian district used illegal interrogation methods to obtain false statements from me. They didn't accurately document the true events of the 2022 Tangshan restaurant attack and covered up the truth. My interview process wasn't recorded truthfully either. In the end, they persecuted me, fabricated charges, and forced a conviction to make me, a low-level officer, take the fall.
The 2022 Tangshan restaurant attack that Chen mentioned occurred in the early hours of June 10, 2022, at a barbecue restaurant in Tangshan. During the incident, the main perpetrator, Chen Zizhi, attempted to sexually harass Ms. Wang, who was dining with her friends. When she resisted, Chen Zizhi and several men with him brutally assaulted Ms. Wang and her friends. They beat 4 women from inside the restaurant. One victim was even dragged into an alley for further assault. Following the incident, the official report stated that the 4 women were taken to the hospital, with 2 of them sustaining minor injuries. However, no information about these women or their condition after treatment has been released, leading to much speculation. The case drew widespread public outcry, leading to 28 people being prosecuted. The main perpetrator, Chen Zizhi, was sentenced to 24 years in prison. The other 27 defendants received sentences ranging from 6 months to 11 years. Chen Ziwei was sentenced to 1 year and 1 month, with the reason being that he had allegedly abused his power to release the main perpetrator and violated regulations. However, from Chen's recent revelations, his so-called illegal actions were entirely due to following the orders of his superiors. Chinese netizens were not satisfied with the outcome of the Tangshan restaurant attack. There were too many unanswered questions. For instance, after being arrested in his hometown in Jiangsu province, Chen Zizhi was found to be a suspect in numerous other major cases. In some of these cases, he had already been caught, but through manipulation behind the scenes, he was inexplicably released on bail, becoming a fugitive. Additionally, in the Tangshan restaurant attack, it was discovered that Chen Zizhi had close ties with several high-ranking officials in the Ministry of Public Security. He was even considered a henchman by these officials, raising suspicions that there might be more undisclosed secrets behind the case. Most importantly, to this day, the true identities of the victims in the Tangshan assault case have not been disclosed by the police, and their current condition remains a mystery. Chen's new revelations have sparked a public uproar because this might be the last chance for the truth to come out. According to Chen, in early September 2022, he was transferred to the Taofeidian Detention Center. While there, he wrote 2 handwritten appeals but received no response after 2 years. After being released on July 16 last year, he began filing formal complaints about the case's issues with various departments, including the Tangshan Intermediate People's Court, the People's Procuratorate, the Tangshan Commission for Discipline Inspection, and others. All these departments acknowledged receiving his complaints, but nothing came of them. Regarding Chen Ziwei's request for a retrial, the Tangshan Intermediate People's Court and the Taofeidian District People's Court of Tangshan Municipality have not taken any action and have used judicial delays to stall the process, leaving Chen feeling hopeless and resorting to self-media to seek justice. Chen also mentioned 3 key points of truth regarding the Tangshan restaurant attack. Firstly, there were doubts about the media's claim that it took nearly half an hour to respond to the incident, causing a serious delay in the police response time. Chen explained that he wasn't responsible for responding that night, and it took about 10 minutes from receiving the request to arriving at the scene. Secondly, after responding, he spent nearly 3 hours handling the case, working from midnight until dawn, and did not neglect his duties. Lastly, his statements during the interview were not what he wanted to say. In the interview, in front of dozens of officials, he truthfully said it took over 10 minutes to arrive at the scene. He refused to read the new scripts, claiming the police arrived in 5 minutes, but government leaders threatened him to comply. Chen emphasized that in future reports, he will disclose all facts about the attack, supported by objective evidence such as recordings, chat records, and witnesses. He asserted, "I will take full legal responsibility for everything I've said." Under Chen's video, a netizen commented, "You've been sentenced, lost your job, and have nothing left to lose. Just reveal the truth and the public will judge." Another asked, "Are those women okay? Since the incident, we haven't seen or heard from the women or their families. It's strange like they've been silenced." Many netizens are also worried about Chen Ziwei's safety, as those who resist the government in China often face detention, surveillance, or worse. After Chen's revelations, the Tangshan police quickly issued a statement refuting his claims, saying that none of what he said was true. However, within a day, the Tangshan government announced that their investigation was complete, raising suspicions of a cover-up. Some netizens pointing out that Chen had posted his video at around 9 p.m. on the 5th, and the official statement came out by 7 or 8 a.m. the next day. So they investigated and concluded that his claims were false overnight. If his allegations weren't true, why would he risk everything to make them? Another added that the statement is telling the public there's nothing you can do about it. Who would dare make such a serious accusation if it wasn't true, especially someone from within the system? On August 6, Chen Ziwei continued to reveal more details. He said that the leaders on duty during the Tangshan restaurant attack were off drinking with other police officers, which delayed the response. To prove his point, Chen released a chat log from a work group. This revelation directly contradicted the official statement that claimed everything he said was untrue. Meanwhile, Chen Ziwei mentioned that after his disclosure on August 5th, people from Tangshan came to his residence in another province and repeatedly knocked on his door, trying to persuade him to return to Tangshan to handle the situation. For his safety, he didn't open the door. He also reviewed the official statement and commented that the very departments that initially handled this case are now acting as both judge and player, passing the blame around. He added that he plans to release more information in the coming days. However, after Chen released his second round of revelations, all of his posts on Douyin, China's version of TikTok, and Weibo were deleted, and there has been no further news from him since then. Many netizens speculate that the government has detained Chen and further revelations are unlikely. Overseas commentator Yu Chunfei remarked, "The police involved in the Tangshan restaurant attack have long harmed the Chinese people and are now being purged by the CCP. Despite facing prison, Chen still doesn't see the true nature of the CCP, so he keeps crucial information about the victims hidden. Sadly, I believe he'll take those secrets with him to the grave." Yu also added, "A person's judgment determines their fate, whether they live in poverty or wealth, even life or death. Chen's fate reflects the CCP's system. Those who work within it to oppress others will ultimately suffer the consequences. The CCP's violence and lies can only last so long. Truth and justice will prevail in the end." Recently, this kind of boomerang effect has become common on Chinese social media, with officials using self-media to seek justice.
I was a deputy captain of the Criminal Investigation Division in the Beishe district of the Baoding Public Security Bureau in Hebei Province, as well as a captain of the Dongguan Criminal Investigation Team. I'm making a public report against Li Yunlong, the former director of the Tangshan Public Security Bureau, who later became the director of the Baoding Public Security Bureau and the secretary of the Political and Legal Affairs Committee. Li is now the deputy director of the Hebei Provincial Public Security Department. He protected triads and evil forces and framed innocent police officers by fabricating false cases.
And then more police officers from Langfang City have joined in the public accusations.
I'm Wang Yanghui, a police officer in the Guangyang district of the Langfang Public Security Bureau. I'm publicly reporting Ma Shicheng, the director and forensic doctor of the Aide Bao Judicial Appraisal Center in Langfang, for falsifying results and protecting criminals. The law is supposed to be fair, but what fairness is left? The scales of justice are broken.
On August 7th, a video surfaced showing former police officer Liu Li from Zhoukou City publicly accusing Judge Zhou Qingsong of the Henan High Court of misconduct, dereliction of duty, and bending the law for personal gain. In the video, Liu said that her husband, the county magistrate of Shanghai County, was imprisoned in 2015 after offending the mistress of the county party secretary while trying to prevent the loss of state assets. A netizen commented, "If even county magistrates and police officers are being hit by the iron fist, ordinary people are in for even worse. If you're still in China and not planning to leave, what are you waiting for?" The iron fist hasn't just hit the police, it also comes down on judges, who are now using self-media to seek justice.
I'm Zhen Wen, an official with the Judicial Bureau in Langping District, Chongqing. I am publicly accusing Zhu Jiangping, the head of the organization department in Liangping District, and other officials of violating the civil service law in handling appeals about illegal transfers of officials. They have abused their power, neglected their duties, and acted carelessly. I call on the people to pay close attention. My name is Guo Dawei, a former judge in Panjin City, Liaoning Province. I am publicly accusing Wang Hong, the head of the Enforcement Bureau of the Liaoning High Court, of corruption. He has taken bribes, protected criminals, and abused his power for personal gain, including misusing public funds for dining and travel and engaging in transactions of money and sex. I'm Wu Chang, a caterer at the People's Court in Hanjiang District, Putian City, Fujian Province. I'm publicly accusing Hu Wenzhen, the former president of the court, of corruption and other crimes.
These judges no longer trust China's legal system and are turning to self-media for justice, revealing that the CCP's system is far from fair. China's rule of law has become a joke. Mr. Liu, a former judge in China, remarked that these cases show even the CCP's law enforcers no longer trust the law. He said, when judges and police can't protect themselves with the law and turn to the internet instead, what chance do ordinary citizens have? Under the CCP's authoritarian system, everyone is a victim. Exiled former human rights lawyer Chen Jiangang also noted that he encountered several police chiefs and senior officials during his work who, after losing internal power struggles or expressing dissent, were detained and persecuted. He explained, the CCP system is inherently evil, opposing humanity and morality. It treats internal dissenters and political prisoners with the same cruelty. This is just how the system operates. It harms others and itself. Political commentator Lao Man mentioned that this phenomenon is occurring because China no longer intends to stay open to the world. For the ruling elite, the legal system itself is no longer necessary, leading to the rapid deterioration of China's legal environment. Officials even mock the law, asking, why bother with the rule of law when the WTO is on the verge of collapse? However, China's ruling elite fails to understand one crucial thing: the rule of law mainly protects their safety. When society descends into chaos, the elite are the first to fall.